we would allow, I allow the city manager to handle it and the negotiating team. But Jean Robb is the only one that had the nerve to bring it to the forefront. The pension board's been sitting out there for a long time, and they knew. I went back and I put notices out in 1974. When this pension plan was put into place, I was sitting on the board, myself and Dr. Arnold Briggs. We knew this would happen. I just didn't think I would live to see it happen. But I lived to see it happen, where you have people trapped in a working condition until they're 55 years old after giving you 35 years of their hard labor. They're beginning to degenerate and everything else. And it's time that it be looked into. Instead of asking for Jean Robb to come off the board, ask for Jean Robb to keep pushing for those tired people.
I don't...
She doesn't have the wisdom enough to change my mind. But if I had to bring it up, if I had the permission as one commissioner, I would go for 30 years and out with no penalty. And the money, you don't want me to say that? The
well, no, I didn't mean for this discussion to get to this point. I was just asking that everybody look into it. If somebody, you know, if this is something that you want to discuss after, yeah, but I don't think, I don't know. I don't know if everybody's got information. I'll give you the floor in a second, Commissioner Gantz. I don't know if anybody even looked at it from that night. I'm sure you have, Mr. Gantz. But I mean, that's all I wanted to do was ask the fellow commissioners to look into it, and then whether they want to bring it up and do something, then they can bring it up and do something. If not, then not. Commissioner Gantz is next, and then
we will have the opportunity. We will have the opportunity in negotiations where I think it is the appropriate place to be doing this, to discuss this option. This isn't about the option. This is about having someone on an advisory board who is unwilling to meet or discuss with a commissioner, simply because, for whatever their reason is. I simply cannot have somebody on an advisory board that I voted for. I might be the lone vote on this. That's fine. But that's the way I gotta vote my conscience. That's the way I feel. I tried to handle it a different way. I didn't want this to go public. I didn't want to make a big deal about this. I understand what the mayor's trying to do. Trust me, I know very well about reading my material when it comes in, and I appreciate that. This has nothing to do with what the argument is. It has to do with having someone on an advisory board who is unwilling to meet, discuss, or even conduct themselves in a manner that should be taking place. And the email that took place this weekend, we all know. We all got it. And there's some concerns. I think there's just little missteps that we're doing here, and it's a simple request. If you guys don't want to back me on it, that's fine. But I'm going to make a motion to have Jean Robb remove the non-uniform pension board.
Do I have a second?
Yes.
Can I speak for a second?
Sure.
I have to get a legal opinion. Chaz, I'm on the prevailing side from what happened. Can I still vote for or against on this issue?
On which issue?
Because I was the one that said not to put Jean Robb in. It was 4-1 at the putting her onto this particular board. Now, if I go along as an example, say with
Commissioner Gantz, motion, you could vote your conscience either way.
Either way? Yeah. I'll second the motion. And that's why we can have a discussion.
I'm gonna go with roll call.
Right? No discussion.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Commissioner Miller. Sorry.
It's my understanding that Jean is not the chairman of that committee. We don't have verifiable actuarials because my city manager told me if we approve this, next year is going to cost the city over $500,000. And I think I agree with Mr. Gantz that we should leave negotiation of contracts to our city manager, not sit up here as a commission and start saying we want this one sacred and not sacred. I think that's the job of the city manager to make the contracts. So I have spoken to the city manager about it. If we listen to her years, it would cost the city, according to his figures, over $500,000 next year. So I think there's a lot of nice people that have worked a good amount of time, and within a year or so they're going to retire. I'm going to be 60. I don't get to retire in my business. So I mean, God bless them for working on the beach for 30-something years. God bless them. But I mean, they knew what the contract was going in too. So that's what I feel about it. It's not in place.
Okay, I believe it was Commissioner Fortier and then Mr. Commissioner Plesky.
Yeah, my question is, has this ever been done in the city of Deerfield Beach where you remove a person off the board?
I don't know.
Brad Chucker. That was basically,
Yeah.
that was basically a question I wanted to ask. We have the authority, correct me if I'm wrong, to put somebody on. We have the authority to remove. Now, if we have this
So
authority,
if I don't like somebody you put on, I can ask them to be, I can get a
you
vote.
can bring it up, and if you get a motion, you get 3 votes, then they're removed. Just the same way how you put them on. You put them on with 3 votes.
They serve at the pleasure of the commission.
Correct. Is that correct, Chad?
Yeah, you do have the authority to remove.
So that's it.
May I say something?
No.
If an
No,
individual-
pipe down.
Wait,
The way I
excuse me.
feel, if an individual commissioner feels they have a hard time with a specific individual of a particular board, they can bring it up and say,
Yeah,
I want to remove.
I accept
It's
that
up to
vote.
the other 4 to say yes or no.
I accept.
All right, I have a motion and a
Oh,
second.
if
go ahead,
we could
Commissioner
follow our
Yates.
lights. Again, my
They
point
keep
is,
going on and off.
I'm not trying to debate, no, I'm not. I'm not trying to debate your negotiation. I would love to have heard it. I'd prefer you not hear you now, but yes, I would prefer to have heard it at the time when I requested. This is not debating the merits of that argument. This is debating simply having an individual on an advisory board who is unwilling to meet or discuss with me. That's all it is.
Marty,
I seconded.
no, but your light's on. You didn't want to speak again?
No, I'm sorry,
Okay.
you were supposed to turn it
Vice
on.
No, I-
Mayor?
no, I-
Okay.
That's okay.
All right, there's a motion and a second. Can we take roll call?
Yes, Commissioner Gads,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Popelski,
Yes.
See you later,
Vice Mayor
Gene.
Fortier,
no.
and Mayor Nolan.
Yes. Okay.